Wow, thank you. Just reading through the comments from what our participants are saying. So somebody says they picked that don't replace relationships with gadgets. That's powerful. And then somebody else, I really love the gratitude aspects. This is so key. And maybe we can expound on it. Why gratitude? What does that do to your mind? How does that influence you now when you begin being grateful? And sometimes it's just journaling 1, 2, 3 things every day that you're grateful for. Derek, how does that begin now to affect us? Well,
yeah,
because somebody may be wondering, yeah, so I write down, I'm grateful, I have life, and then, bring it home for us.
yeah. I mean, I talked a little bit about these hormones that are released by our brain, or at least the brain activates the release of them in our bodies, cortisol, the stress hormone, and some of these other hormones. Well, the practice of gratitude actually releases these good feeling hormones. You actually feel great when you're able to tell somebody something nice or something good about themselves. And that release of those particular hormones not only help you in the moment, but actually help you maybe 2, 3 days, a week down the road. And developing a practice of gratitude where you are thankful for things also allows you to look at events that happen to us from a more measured point of view. If you are always constantly looking at things that happen to you and say, oh, woe is me, life is unfair, I don't know why this is always happening to me, and you haven't developed a practice of looking at things that perhaps this is something that is going to activate a better part of me. It's a challenge that's going to bring out the best in me. So it also helps us in terms of how we perceive particularly challenging events and situations and environments that occur in my life. In fact, I'm going to take it a step further and issue a challenge of my own, because this to me is unique. Walk into a supermarket. Okay, maybe not a supermarket. I don't know if you're comfortable to walk into those kinds of places yet, but where perhaps there may be 1 or 2 people, or more than 1 or 2 people. And as you observe your fellow human beings who are just like you, I want you to think about the things that you want in your life. So we all want a happy life. We want a healthy life. We want our loved ones to be safe and happy as well. Now, these strangers in the supermarket or the gym or wherever it is, I want you to wish them the exact same things that you would wish for yourself. Now, you've got to do it in a manner that doesn't make them feel that you are being, you go around and stare that person in the face and be like, I wish you a happy life. They might freak out a little bit. You've got to do it in a manner that uses a little bit of emotional intelligence, okay? So it's just a thought. You just look at that human being, whoever they are, and just spend 30 seconds or 40 seconds silently wishing them the things that you'd wish for yourself. That kind of gratitude. Now, when you regularly do this, you'll sort of begin, first of all, it becomes a habit, as I talked about. It develops this skill. And you will find that when you are faced, again, the risk of repeating myself, with situations that might be a little bit more challenging, your brain automatically goes and looks at the glass as half full rather than half empty.
That's a good practice. I think another good one is just giving people compliments, just giving people compliments and see how suddenly they light up. It's like that statement just makes their day. And yet it's so meaningful. Like it doesn't cost you anything, it doesn't cost you much, but yet it really goes a long way.
It makes your day
Sorry?
as well. It makes your day.
It makes your day as well. When you see how excited they are, it really makes your day. So if I may ask then, how can you tell if someone has a high level of emotional intelligence or a low level of emotional intelligence? Are there specific characteristics that they portray? Monique, let's start with you.
Normally, it's the decisions they make. If I could go back to the initial slide that I shared, are they aware of the emotion they've created and the impact it's had on others? Because sometimes you'd want to scream at someone, you'd want to scream at your child, but you realize this is not the right time, this is not the right place. You withhold. But it doesn't mean you don't tell them what they've not done correctly. So for me, I would say it's the decisions you make and the behavior you portray and the impact it has on people. If the decisions and your behavior brings the best out of people, then you have high emotional intelligence. But if your decisions and behavior makes people flee from you, or make people make wrong decisions, or brings the worst out of people, then I would say you have low emotional intelligence.
People love being around people who have high EI. I mean, you just love being around them. You feel empowered, you feel inspired. As Monique was saying, they make you make better. You just feel better being around them. I'll give a very simple example. We run emotional intelligence assessments for companies. And I mean, people rate others in terms of how are they showing up. And we have quite a few behaviors there that we want you to be rated in. And the one thing I've noticed is guys who get, we call it the green, guys who get really high scores in EI, even when they walk into the room, guys are already, Sasa, hi, there's a certain vibe going. So it's such a face validity, it's such a correlation. So to see that that's exactly the way they're showing up in the assessment is exactly the way they're showing up in real life. Everyone is happy to see them. People have gone to them for help. And even you don't even know this person, but you're already feeling some positive vibe with this person. You might not even talk, but you can just see how the impact they're making with all those around them.
Wow. And to even see that it's, emotional intelligence is something they test you even when you go for interviews. I think you can't avoid or you can't ignore emotional intelligence, because now it's no longer, just like Derek said earlier, it's no longer just a good have. It's gotten to the place where it's a must have. And they even test it for you, in your interviews. Even sometimes before you get a promotion at work, you can feel some of these questions are just carved to find out, how do you make your decisions and so forth. Derek, do you want to add into that?
Well, I think my colleagues have shared some of the sentiments that I have. I like also what a colleague that we work with called Ben Palmer, who runs Genos International. He talks about emotional intelligence, or one of the aspects of emotional intelligence is about when you're feeling angry. Being angry to the right degree, and I know I'm butchering this. Let me see if I can get this right. Being angry to the right person, the right place, in the right environment, to the right degree. So there are some people, and anger is an emotion that all of us feel. I mean, you can chop it up however many ways. Slightly annoyed to really upset with somebody. Some people who blow up on the spot, that's how they express their emotions. But being able to choose when and how to tell somebody that you're upset with them, to me, is one of the hallmarks of emotional intelligence. Yeah. So being angry to the right person, the right degree, at the right place, putting all of those ducks in a row to deliver some tough feedback to someone is a hallmark of EI.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that is a tough one for many people, huh? Just being able to come to you and tell you, Vicky, I'm not happy at what you did. Not easy for many people. Go ahead, Vicky. Let me not interrupt you.
And I'm saying I think that's very important, because there is like a misconception that to be highly emotionally intelligent, you have to be nice. That's not the definition of emotional intelligence. So Derek, that was a very important piece of information.